Hi all, in this video I will demonstrate you how to configure Swagger in the Spring Boot applications. Previously we have made a Spring Boot application where we have used OpenAPI, the SpringDoc library to access the Swagger UI for the API documentations. So you can watch this video to get the understanding how to add the library. Anyhow, I will be explaining in this video about few of the statement. So what I will cover, like I would name the description of the developer in the application. You can see that the application details we have provided. Then we will configure the schema using not null, mean, max, size, those type of annotations. Then I will use the tag annotations to group the different type of APIs meaningfully. We have get API, put API. So to group the get API and to group the put API, we will use the different type of tag annotations. Then we will use the operation annotations to provide additional information about a method. In the put methods, the parameter is not there by default, so we'll use the description about the methods in meaningful way. Then we'll use API response annotation. Like by default we have 200 response. Then how to add the 404 response and other response code. We'll use that annotations also. And lastly, we'll use parameter annotations to define parameters of the operations. When we are using get by employee details, the employee ID, like ID of the employee should be retrieved. So that type of information so we can provide in the Swagger configurations. So before going ahead with the video, I would request you please subscribe to the channel to get the videos on Spring Boot, microservices, Java, REST API, and also you can go ahead with the video. You can watch this video after watching this current video to get the enough understanding on what is the Swagger use case, how to implement on the Spring Boot application. So let's start with the video. So we have added one dependency called Spring.Boot OpenAPI Starter WebMVC, and we have access the Swagger UI using the localhost Swagger UI index.html. Let me show you that. So this is the things, and by default the OpenAI configuration you can see this, and we'll configure one by one as shown in the shown in this Excel in this diagram. So we'll configure this one by one. So previously we have an employee services which having these five endpoints to get the employee, to update the employee, to delete the employee, to get all the employees, and to add a new employee. So we'll go one by one and we'll add this configuration. To add the configuration, like we need to use the configuration class, or we need to add an configuration classes annotate with bin on the OpenAI, and we do the implementation. Let me do that first. So if you see that I have used configuration class we annotated with bin and OpenAPI, and here I have mentioned the server as a object with URL and description. If you go to this server class, you will get the more information about URL description and different server variables also. And we have used my contact to store the information about the developer. Here we can use that as an organization name and some email. So if you go to this contact, you will get all the details like name, URL, email. Next, the information will store like title. Here we have mentioned that by default we are having OpenAPI definition. We want to make it as an employee service OpenAPI, and this exposes endpoint to the employee service, and the contact details and the server details like production, those type of things we are configured here. And we are using returning object of OpenAPI with info server. If you use this open this info class, you will get the details like you can add title, description, terms of services of your endpoints, and the licenses, versions. So those type of information you can show. So I will stop the application, and I will run the application to show the details. Now the application is started successfully. I will open this Swagger UI. I will refresh this, and you will see that all these details has been edited with our customized configurations. Yeah, you see that my employee service API with version 1, and the deep developer and the server production. All these customized details are being added properly. Now we will add this use bean validation like not null, min, max, size to provide the details about specific fields, and it will look somehow like that. We will add this max length and min length. So let me add that too. So I have added the annotations like not null for the ID, and size of this first name will be between 1 character to 20 character, for last name between 1 character to 50 character. So I will rerun this application. I will show you that also. The application is started successfully. I will run this reload this page. So if you are still watching the video, I will request you please subscribe to the channel, and if you face any issues, you can ask me on the comment sections. So I'll expand the schema, and you see that the details informations are being added with max length 20, min length 1, 50. So now I will add use that tag annotations to separate the APIs like get or other APIs, and I will use the annotations like operation to provide in details about a specific methods. Then I will use annotations like API responses to provide the response type or different type of response status. And then I will use parameter annotations to define the parameters of a operation. Let me add that to you. Then I will explain you and rerun the application. So I have added the annotations like a tag. So it will group the employee by using the name. So I have mentioned name as get, and description that get method for the employee APIs, and the get mapping. So these two methods are the get method. So that's why I have separated with the get, and I have used parameter annotations because this is the employee ID, the parameter. So and I have provided descriptions that ID of the employee to be retrieved, and it is the required part to get the details of a particular employee. Then I have used the operation annotations. So here it will provide. Let me show you that in here. So it will provide an descriptions about specific operations, or like it will provide that it will update first name and last name. The ID will be remain same. So those type of information it will provide. And this is the summary where you can see. I will run the applications and show that also. Before that, I am just explaining the things, and the API responses annotations where a particular methods provide set of responses like 200 for the OK response, and 404 when employee not found, and some 500 for the other status code also. You can provide this information using the API response parameter, and it will come under API responses. So where it will provide you will provide the response code and the content type and the schema, because if it is 200, then it will return that employee class now. So that's why it is implementation of employee classes, and if it is are not found, then it will just provide a description and the empty things. Yeah, so that's the basic description, and I will rerun the application. I will show you on that UI as well. So application is started fine on 880. So I will go to this Swagger UI, and I will refresh the page. So it is loading. Yeah, and now we see that this get API are being separated, and the description are made as get methods of the API. So I will expand this employee slash employee ID, where I have mentioned ID of the employee to be retrieved. So those type of things you can customize using the open API Swagger configuration. Then update method, I have provided descriptions like response of the update employee with ID, first name, last name, and also I have added the status code for this. I think delete operation. Yeah, delete operation for 404. The employee not found, and with OK. So you can customize all the details on the Swagger UI. So that's all about the video. Please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions you can ask me on the comment section. Thank you for watching the video.